Eggs, once a breakfast staple, but here in the post-apocalypse, an unspeakable luxury. Because of the avian flu, at the time of filming this episode, this is about $1,000 worth of eggs. I could rule the wasteland with all these eggs.
Get ready. Yes!
Eggs are in excess of $1 an egg. But here we are. What are we gonna do? Not use them? It's a fortune. We should celebrate these eggs by using them and eating them. And by ranking them. I'm gonna rank these eggs one at a time, both their preparation and their consumption, on a scale of 1 to 5 each for a total score of 1 to 10. You do the math. I don't want to. Well, the editors will do the math. Don't worry, they'll add it up for you. You don't have to actually do the math. I was just trying to sound really cool. The preparation, I'm going to rank the ease, the convenience, the enjoyment. Like, that's part of it. I like making eggs sometimes. And as for the eating, I'm going to rank the eggs 1 to 5 based on the context that you'd normally eat them. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to have toast with my eggs. I'm just going to use the power of my imagination. So there's our scoring system. Let's get cracking, dude.
Way to go.
That's so good. Let's get cracking. This episode is sponsored by Allergies. Did you know that your mattress gains weight over time? It's constantly collecting dirt, dust, and household allergens. Gross. That's where Allergies comes in. The Allergies Platinum Zip-Off Mattress Protector covers your entire mattress, creating a barrier that blocks 99.9% of dirt, dust, and allergens. It's different from other protectors because it features a patented removable top that makes it quick and easy to wash with the rest of your bedding. I'm excited that the new bed & Babish is going to have Allergies mattress protectors on all the beds. I'll share an update on that at the end of the video. To get your own Platinum mattress protector, head to the link in the description or scan the QR code and enter code 15BABISH for a 15% discount. Maybe my favorite? Sunny side up. I love sunny side up because you end up with these nice browned, crispy edges that add a little bit of texture and really great flavor. Then you got the nice runny yolk on top. I'm gonna rank the preparation before I eat it, so I stay agnostic of its goodness. What? You preheat fat, usually a nonstick pan. Get it to the point where if it's oil, it's shimmering. If it's butter, foaming has subsided. You add the egg and you let it sit. You let it fry. The goal here is to get a nice, lightly brown, crispy exterior and set whites with a runny yolk. You have to get good at the timing. You have to know how to control the heat. You have to know how to get the whites set. But if you go too long, you're gonna set the yolk, and then I don't know what that's called. What is a sunny side up egg with a hard yolk? I don't think that exists. Sadness. Sadness side up. If 5 is the best, being like super easy, super fun, I'm having the time of my life making this egg, I'm gonna give sunny side up a 3. I enjoy it. It does take practice. I'm eating these with salt and pepper today, as is my right. I'm going to rank this as part of a breakfast with toast, the way that you'd eat it. I'm going to give it a 5. It's one of my favorite egg preparations. You have varying textures. You have a nice runny yolk. You have crispy edges. It's one of the peak egg eating experiences. For a combined score of 8. Next up, over easy. This is basically a sunny side up egg that you flipped at the last second to get the whites fully set, leaving the yolk completely runny. I'm gonna give prep a 2. Because frankly, it's harder to make, I think, than a sunny side up egg. Flipping an over easy egg is hard. When you try to get underneath it with a spat, it sticks to the spat. So sometimes you have to resort to flipping it like that. It's a minefield because, well, really there's one mine in this field, but you're walking right towards it. The impact of flipping can break the egg yolk. And then the only recourse there is to make a fried egg. You can't uncrack an egg and you can't unbreak a yolk. Then the eating experience, I'm gonna give it a 4. I don't like over easy eggs as much as I like sunny side up because you don't get the crispy edges. You could, but it makes it a little harder because you're cooking with higher heat, higher chance of overcooking the yolk. It's still great because you're getting a runny yolk, and that's one of the peak egg eating experiences. That's a combined total of a 6, which is an odd score. This is like how I usually order my eggs when I get like a full American, but the math doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie, except when they do, like with statistics. Statistics are fundamentally flawed. All statistics. 6. Over medium. Over medium is just over easy, but you cook it a little bit longer so the yolk is kind of half set. It's a great baby step egg for the runny yolk curious. Prep rating. I'm gonna bump this up to 3. It's a little easier to make than over easy. You can cook at a little higher temperatures, a little bit more confidently. You can get some nice crispy edges like this. So I am tempted to give it a higher score than over easy. I kind of like the varying textures. You still get the runny yolk, but you also get some slightly set yolk. It's got a nice fudgy sort of texture to it. Then I gotta give it a 5. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 5. It's like a sunny side up egg with fudgy yolk in there and also 0 chance of not set white, which is together an 8. Okay, now we have over hard, which is like the last two, but you cook it until the yolk is set. As for prep, I'm going to rate it a 4. It's slightly easier. There's really no need to be too careful. If you broke the yolk, wouldn't even be the end of the world. You're cooking it through anyway. So I'll give it a 4. It's pretty darn easy. As you can see, the yolk is set. The center is jammy. I did a really good job again. Not bad, but also not terribly good. I will say that I certainly like this a lot more than a hard-boiled egg. It's like a soft-boiled egg with caramelization and different textures and a better, just eggier flavor. But my preference is I'd like to have a runny yolk. So I'm gonna give it a 3 for the eating experience. But as far as fried eggs go, pretty great. You're getting varied textures. You're getting kind of a fudgy set yolk if you do it just right. Next up, we have a soft-boiled egg. It is an egg that you drop into, I prefer sub-boiling water. You let it cook for 6 to maybe 7 minutes tops, and then you're gonna run it under cold running water for 30 seconds. And that halts the cooking, but still keeps it warm. The ideal outcome is a barely set white and a runny yolk. The prep, I'm gonna give it a 3 because it is a formula. You pull it at this time and do this thing, it's pretty much plug and play, but it's tough to chop the top off. I'm personally not a fan of doing it. And just that reason. So let's see what we're dealing with here. We got some barely set white. That's good. I don't know why that's reading like almost sweet to me. Not in a gross way, but in like a custardy, lovely kind of way. I like that. The whites are set like pudding, almost. I'm gonna give it a 5. I wasn't expecting that kind of difference in flavor. Perhaps whatever sweetness I'm detecting or whatever subtlety there is there that's making me like it so much goes away when you bring it to medium or hard. I don't know. That's a combined total of an 8. Turns out foods you've eaten a million times can still surprise. Surprise and delight. We'll be right back with Babish's Table after these important messages from our sponsors. I'm kidding. We already did the sponsor. Read it up front. A medium boiled egg. Cook it for an additional couple minutes. I went about 8.5 to 9 minutes. Seems like it's pretty good because I've got some set yolk, some runny yolk, and set whites throughout. Then you immediately plunge it in an ice bath to cease its cooking. It also is gonna make it easier to peel if you let it sit in the ice bath for 20 to 30 minutes. And brother, that's where the nightmares begin. Because then you gotta peel it. This guy, when I was trying to peel it, split in half entirely. Somehow the yolk stayed intact. I could see it inside, but the whole egg split around the equator like in a disaster movie. And I had to very carefully peel it. So that's pretty much what happens every time I try to make any kind of boiled egg. And that was hell. That was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. To rank the preparation of this, 0. It's one of the worst experiences a human being can have. I liked that some of it's set and fudgy and some of it's runny. It's really nice. In a Scotch egg situation, this is a peak experience, a peak human experience. Peeling it, worst thing that you could possibly endure as a human being. What an incredible gaping chasm of experience this egg offers you. I'm gonna give it a 5. It runs the gamut of textures. You could put it in the middle of a Scotch egg and redeem that god-awful trial you just went through. Wow, there's a piece of shell right on the edge of my bite. You see, that's my bite mark? There's a piece of shell. And then I would have been plunged right back down into the darkness. So that's a total score of a 5. This rating system is flawed. I can feel it. Hard-boiled, basically, it's a hard-boiled egg. What do you want me to do? It's an egg that you boil until the yolk is set. I personally love the consistency that we hit here, which is slightly fudgy. That yolk is not powdery and chalky. I hate peeling boiled eggs of any kind. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2 because at least it's easier than peeling a soft or medium boiled egg. But it's still a pain in the arse. The white is very bouncy. That is the texture of Jello. Yolk, it's fudgy, it's thick, and it's almost like, I hate to say this, it's almost like the filling of a Cadbury cream egg, but savory. It's a savory Cadbury cream egg, that's what this is. It is nice that you can eat it on the go. It's a snack that requires no other devices or accompaniment. You can just eat it on its own. As long as you cook the yolk properly, I think we're looking at a 4 for a combined score of 6. Poached egg. You get water to a sub-boiling temperature. You can add a little vinegar to the water. Some people say that that helps keep the white together. It's helpful to crack the egg into a fine mesh sieve, swirl it around. Once it stops dripping, you put it into a separate bowl, as I discovered. You don't go straight from the sieve into the water because sometimes the egg can sort of hang on to the sieve and that up. You get the water swirling and you gently tip the egg into the water, not in the center of the vortex, but on the side, in the hopes that basically the white evenly wraps itself around the yolk and you end up with perfect poached egg such as this. And I would rate that preparation a 1. It is the one that I've had the very least success with. It's hard and it's dumb. Boop. Ideally, you should have a fully runny yolk. The white, it's not bouncy. It's not like Jello bouncy. It's closer to Jello than it is pudding. It's the Jello of eggs, whereas soft-boiled eggs are the pudding of eggs. Definitely reading a little bit more Jello-y in the white, which not crazy about. The flavor is very sort of neutral. It just tastes like an egg. You know, like everything is tasting today. I do like that you can make these ahead of time. Throw them in an ice bath. You can put them in the fridge, then you can just heat them up very, very gently in some way sub-boiling water. If you're making eggs Benny, this is the only way you can make the egg ahead of time. What does all this mean in terms of a score? I think it means a 4. It is not as good texture in the white as a soft-boiled egg, I think, but still pretty great, very clean egg taste and pretty classy. I'll give that a 4 for a combined total of a 5. Mostly just because I hate making them. French soft scrambled eggs. You start by getting your eggs as smooth as humanly possible. You add a little bit of salt. This helps give you a more homogeneous mixture, as does a tiny little splash of cold water. If you really want to be a badass, strain it through a fine mesh sieve. That's going to get rid of the Timothy Chalamet. That's going to give you completely smooth, utterly uniform eggs. Melt the butter as soon as it's melted. No foaming, no sputtering, over medium-low heat. Add the eggs and start stirring and don't stop until it's done. If you start seeing curds, take it off the heat and stir it for maybe 15, 30 seconds, then put it back on the heat. It's done when it's basically the consistency of a custard. It's pourable. For preparation, I'm gonna give it a 2 because it's rather a workout. You need to stir it constantly. You cannot step away from this for the, I don't know how long that took. Was that like 10 minutes? Like 10-minute process. You cannot step away, you cannot stop stirring. I'm giving it a 2, not a 1, because it is relatively, I don't want to say foolproof, but basically as long as you keep your flame at an absolute minimum, you will end up with these really beautiful, luxuriant eggs. So freaking good, like, so rich and custardy. This on some toast, or even on its own, but really dipped up in toast, this is like a peak egg experience. No notes, 5. I'd give it a 6 if I could. The cloud egg, an egg invented purely for social media, I have to assume. Basically, you separate egg yolks and egg whites, and then you beat the egg whites with a little bit of salt to stiff peaks. Then you arrange the egg whites in little piles on a parchment-lined baking sheet. You throw them in the oven for 4 to 6 minutes. We only put it in for 4 and it started to brown like crazy. And drop the raw egg yolk in the center, throw it back in for 1-2 minutes just to start setting things up. And you got yourself a cloud egg. And I'm going to rank that preparation 5. It's a lot of fun. I had a great time. Smells like shit. Smells like burnt egg whites. Objectionable. Delightful to look at too. What a beautiful thing. No wonder they invented this for Instagram. I don't like that at all. None of that awful smell is present in the flavor. That just tastes like an egg. So, pretty cool. But the whites taste like an unsweetened meringue. I would call it shaving cream you put in the freezer. It's at once spongy, foamy, and squishy. So that's no good. And the yolk is, it's a raw egg yolk. It's way better than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be hell, but the whites are just really not a good texture. This is for aesthetics mostly. I'm gonna give it a 2 for the eating experience. That's a combined score of a 7. No, I can't allow this. Scratch the 5. I think I'm gonna give it a 4 for prep because I had the time of my life. But the smell of browning egg whites, not a fan. It's funny, the making experience was point down because of the smell. The eating experience is a point up because it's not as bad as I thought it would be. That's a 1 and a 4, so the cloud eggs get a 5. Yeah, food shouldn't be like this. Food shouldn't make that noise. No food should make that noise. Classic American-style scrambled eggs, the same kind that your dad would make on Sunday in a tattered old robe from the Ford administration. You start by beating together your eggs until they're mostly homogeneous. You get a little bit of pinch of salt if you're feeling fancy, and again, if you're a dad from any era of history, you're adding a splash of milk. And I think that's been proven detrimental to the texture of the eggs, I think. And then you melt butter in a medium to medium high heat nonstick pan, add the eggs, stir occasionally, so you end up with big, soft curds. It's basically the antithesis to French soft scrambled eggs, which you're trying to get the smallest curds imaginable. And this is just curds, big old curds. I would call this the actual expression of what Ramada Inn is trying to serve you in the hot pan. How would I rate that process? I'm gonna give it a 4. Because it's very easy, it's very familiar and sort of nostalgic, if a little boring. It's the only reason I'm giving it a 4. Give me a little challenge. This is about as classic an egg preparation for me, somebody from here, that I could possibly imagine. It's simple, it's versatile. I think I'm gonna give it another 4, because it is definitely not a peak egg experience, but between the nostalgia factor, the flavor, and the texture, it's just very good. An 8 for good old-fashioned American scrambled eggs. The American omelet. The American scrambled eggs of omelets. It's almost exactly the same thing. Basically, you preheat the fattened pan over medium heat, add your beaten eggs, then once they're mostly set, pat them down into a nice even layer, let them sit until they're fully cooked through and the bottom is kind of flat and fried like this. Some people push it as far as to brown it. I didn't do that because I have a sense of decency and propriety. Then you fold it in half, usually with fillings. Not today. We're just focusing on the eggs, so this is more about the preparation of the eggs than all the wonderful things you can put inside of it. As for the preparation, I'm gonna rate it a 4. It's harder to make than just normal scrambled eggs. It becomes a sense of timing. You have to spread out the eggs before they set too much or you're not gonna have a flat omelet. And you need to then fold it over, which is a little tricky, and then you need to flip it out of the pan, which is a little tricky. But if you do all that together, it's very gratifying. I feel very gratified. That got the scrambled eggs too high, that 4. I'm gonna push the scrambled eggs down. I'm gonna push them down to a 3. I didn't have nearly as much fun as those cloud eggs. I don't have nearly as much fun. And
Is it all about fun?
yes. You either have fun or you don't. Which one do you want? So 5 is fun, 1 is none. And this is a little bit more exciting, and I want this to be a 4, not that. Ugh, an empty omelet. This is a bizarre and horrible thing. This probably won't be a wholly hellish experience because I cooked it properly. That'll at least make it bearable. Without any stuff in it, I think we got a 3. It's a worser texture than straight up scrambled eggs because you have the bottom, which you let it sit there, sometimes even brown, which gives it almost a metallic taste a little bit. If there was literally anything in this, even gumballs, I'd give it a 4 to a 5. Because if this had cheese in it, Episode over, because I'd fire everybody out of joy. It's complicated emotion. A better making experience, because a little more gratifying, worse eating experience than the scrambled eggs. So reverse, 4 and 3 instead of 3 and 4. The French omelette. How do you make a French omelette? Well, you do what I should have did, which is strain the eggs. I forgot to do that. Insert the footage of me straining the eggs. Heat butter in a non-stick 8-inch pan, and you add the eggs over medium heat and get them moving. Just like you're making French-style soft scrambled eggs, you get a really small, really creamy, custardy curd. Then once the curd is like 90% set, you start to roll the omelet up on itself. Once you got about halfway, you start to tap the handle like I did, you'll see, or you're seeing. And then it's really well positioned to just flip the other end over it. Then, once you got it all shaped and torpedoed, you rub it down with butter. Hopefully, the curd will be set but gooey. It's a little set, but that's okay. It's mostly gooey. I'm gonna rate this a 1 because it is a pain in the ass. Even with a lot of practice, you can still screw it up. People might never make French omelets again. No new generation will learn because who has the money to practice? It's a wonderful thing to eat. It's one of my favorite egg preparations. It's decadent and rich. And if you, again, just like an American omelet, if you throw some cheese in there, good night. I'm going to bed. I'm gonna give it a 5 for the eating experience. It's a shame that this is getting a 6. This system is broken. That's why eggs are so expensive. But that's the law. I don't want you to call the police. I can't go back to jail. Sous vide egg. It looks great. How does one make a sous vide egg? Well, first you need a sous vide. So go out and get one real quick and I'll tell you when you get back. Got it? Okay. You first must parboil it. You're boiling it for 3 minutes, plunging in an ice bath, and then you're putting in a 143-degree Fahrenheit sous vide for as little as 45 minutes. After all that, you'll be rewarded with these alien placentae. To rank the making process, I think a 0. That takes a tremendous amount of time, specialty equipment, just bearing the outcome in mind, frankly. I have to give it a 0 without the outcome. I guess it's still a 0. That's a pain in the ass. That's really, really silly. What's the eating experience gonna be like? Will it be enough to save it? All right, yolk's nice and running. That's good. There we go. Got a little white, got a little yolk. I'm in business. Panic was the first feeling that I had. It was just panic. The whites are the same, almost the same texture as the yolk, which you never want. You don't want that. We did exactly what was specified by J. Kenji Lopez, as these are. That's horrible. To be fair, you could, I know that some places, like there was a place I used to order salads from that would have a sous vide egg and they would be set throughout. We're gonna try this again, like a hybrid hard-boiled egg, because presumably if you do a hard-boiled egg in sous vide, it will have a more interesting texture that might be worth exploring, but this is not. I'm gonna go ahead and give the eating experience a 0. The yolks are raw but warm, which is cool, but then the whites are raw but warm, which is not cool. Double aughts for Sous-Vide Soft-Boiled. Sous-Vide Hard Edition. This is an egg that is not pre-boiled at all. You just drop it into a 165-degree Fahrenheit sous vide bath for 45 minutes, crack it open, and enjoy, question mark? How do I rate this process? Because hard-boiled egg, that takes time. This only takes a little bit longer. It does take a specialty piece of equipment, but it is utterly effortless. So I am inclined to give it a 4, I am. But will that score match the eating experience? Yolk's good, soft and fudgy. It's firm without being powdery. The white has a texture of panna cotta, like a very, very, very delicate pudding, basically. I'm gonna give it a 1. I don't know what I would do with this. I don't know, I can't think of any circumstance in which this would be good because the whites are just kind of ruined. Definitely an improvement on soft-boiled sous vide, but as far as I can tell, sous viding eggs, very limited applications. The ramen egg, or the soy-marinated egg, most commonly served with ramen. This is a medium-boiled egg that is marinated overnight in a mixture of light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, mirin, and as much water as is needed to get them submerged. As for prep, I think by default this has to be a 0 because I have such a hard time peeling medium-boiled eggs. But Rachel doesn't, clearly. I hate it, so by default this gets a 0 for prep because it involves peeling a medium-boiled egg. Everything after that, 5 stars. It's a medium-boiled egg, which I already like. It's got the added flavors from the marinade. I think that it's also gonna get a 5. Like, it's strange to give this the same score as a medium-boiled egg because it's better. I think to even the playing field, I might need to make the prep a 1. I have a good reason, not just because I'm trying to inflate the scores, even though I totally am. It's because you already caught me. I don't have a good reason. This isn't a fair world that we live in. Just look around. Look at egg prices. But yeah, no, so this gets a 6 overall because it's getting a 1 for prep and 5 for the eating experience. A baked or coddled egg. Eggs nowadays, they're weak. Coddled, Gen Z, you know? To make a coddled egg, you thoroughly butter a ramekin, you crack an egg inside, drizzle it with about a tablespoon of heavy cream, hit it with salt and pepper, then place it in a hot water bath and bake at 375 for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how set you want the yolk. What do I think of that process? Well, I'll tell you. I got some thoughts about it. It's fine. It's not very hard. I'm gonna give it a 3 because it is hands-on, but there's very few places to go wrong, very few places that require practice or subtlety. It's just do it and go. But how does it eat? Very barely jammy set yolk, very evenly set yolk that looks really nice and jammy and budgy, which is cool. This is an interesting experience. We've got Jello-like white. The yolk is very different. I was expecting it to be fudgy. It's bordering on chewy, which I'm not super crazy about. If we had just baked it a little less and it was runny instead of set, then maybe, you know, it'd be a different story. So I won't hold that against it too much, but give it a 3, because it's still good, it's good. An overall score of a 6. Not bad, coddled egg. Pickled egg time. Not all pickled eggs look like this. This is a beet pickled egg. First you need to hard boil some eggs, and then you need a pickling brine. About 1 cup of pickled juice from pickled beets. You mix that with about a tablespoon of vinegar, tablespoon of sugar, and a tablespoon of pickling spices. Not a very exact science. And you let it sit for as little as 2-3 days and up to 2 weeks. What would I rate that prep process? Well, first off, you have to peel a hard-boiled egg, but then you have to make a pickling liquid, and then you have to wait. That's the worst thing you could ask a person to do. It's the future. I don't have to wait for anything. So that's ridiculous. So I'm gonna give it a 1. These have been going for quite a while, so they're probably gonna be a little stiff. Those whites are firm. I will not, however, hold that against the score because we did let these go for like 2 weeks. So we recently did this for the Severance episode. That's what these are left over from. I remember what those tasted like when they were just a few days. I'm gonna go off that memory. I think I might give these a 5. They have more complex, more interesting flavor. The firm whites, again, can be avoided by not pickling for that long. I don't know, they look cool as so I think they're great. 6 total for pickled eggs. The steamed egg custard. This is a method that I tried for the first time during a recent episode where I saw if I could beat Brooklyn's best breakfast sandwiches, and I couldn't. But I was very taken by the egg. Place a couple eggs in a blender with a splash of heavy cream, a little bit of salt, Blend them gently, not too much because you don't want to generate too much foam. Then let the foam settle for a few minutes. You butter up, preferably a non-stick cooking vessel of some kind. Then pour the eggs very slowly into your prepared pan. Place it in a steamer basket for about 10 minutes until the custard is set. And we'll know that we did our job correctly if when I cut into this, the custard's smooth. If you overcook it, you start seeing little bubbles. And I did. You can see that's like perfectly smooth. So how would I rate this process? Frankly, pretty good. I like it. The only thing you need to be precise about is timing, and if you have a large enough steaming vessel, you could make a big freaking 9 by 13 inch patty that you could then cut into 6 patties and have eggs ready for 6 breakfast sandwiches like that. I'm gonna give the method a 4. Cut's pretty stiff, that's interesting. It's not custardy, even though this is technically a custard, it's not custardy. If you closed your eyes and you were fed this on Valentine's Day with the blindfold and handcuffed to the bed, you'd think that, okay, that is a bite of a very tender, really properly made fried egg. It's firm without being bouncy or springy or slippery, and it's soft without being like, you know, fall apart or gooey or anything like that. So I'm also gonna give it a 4 for the eating experience. So far as solidified beaten eggs go, this is a very pro move in both flavor and technique. Now we have the espresso egg. This is a technique apparently pioneered by a Colombian cafe. And what you do to make this, well, it's a little nutty. Put 2 eggs, a little pat of butter, pinch of salt in a heat-proof mug. Just like you're steaming up some milk for an espresso, you cook the eggs using the steam wand of an espresso machine, which is a very loud, unsettling process. So what do I rate that process? Honestly, still pretty high. I didn't like having to clean the wand. That was a pain, but you have to do that with milk. You have to do that whenever you steam anything with the espresso wand. So I think I'm gonna give it a 4 because it was so freaking cool. It looks and feels like a scrambled egg. It's big and fluffy like an American or dad scrambled egg, but it's got a very, very delicate, very light, airy texture. It's not as dense, pretty much what you're getting when you carefully scramble eggs over not too high heat, so you're not getting any browning or anything like that. But I don't know if it's worth the trouble. Then again, that's not what I'm ranking now, am I? Just like every egg thus far, something's not quite right here with the rating system. I mean, it's a damn good scrambled egg. Okay? I'm gonna give this a 4 as well. It's pretty awesome. Nico, the pun-isher, came up with a great pun for this that was right there. This is the egg espresso. Come on, people. It's the egg espresso. Honestly, I'm gonna give it an extra point. No, I'm kidding. Next up, we have the humble fried egg. The mainstay for breakfast sandwiches, I'd say 80% of the time. Fried eggs are prepared simply by cracking an egg into some preheated butter, breaking the yolk, swirling it around just a little bit, frying until crisp on one side, flipping, and frying until completed. It's a super easy process that doesn't require technical sophistication. I am going to rate it a 5. It's so easy, and it's foolproof as well. Like, there's very few ways you could screw this up. Get a bite with both yolk and white. It's fine. Here's what you're getting with a fried egg. It might as well be an over hard egg. It's pretty much the same experience because you've got set yolk and you've got set whites and some crispy brown edges. That's virtually the same thing. The advantage that a fried egg has over an over hard egg is that you're getting yolk swirled throughout. So you're getting some of that fatty, softer texture and flavor throughout the egg instead of only slippery whites and only soft, powdery yolk. So I'd say an upgrade from a over hard egg. What did I give the over hard?
3. So
why did I give it a 3? No. This rating system is flawed. My scores being unchanged, give this an equi score to the over hard egg, which is a 3 because it's almost the same. Next up, Jeow, or a Thai-style deep-fried omelet. First, you beat together a few eggs with a pinch of salt and a little bit of vinegar or lime juice. You put about a cup of neutral flavored frying oil in a deep, high-walled wok, and you heat it to smoking, and then from about 1 foot above the oil, terrifyingly, you pour in the eggs and you let them fry on one side for anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes, and then you flip it, preferably keeping the whole thing together. But if you don't know what you're doing, sometimes it cuts in half. But didn't want to waste eggs in this economy. This should have the intended effect of a fluffy omelet with a crispy browned exterior. So for the technique, I'm going to rate it 3. It is at once frightening and exhilarating, messy, and requires special tools and lots of oil. So like a carnival ride. Those take a lot of oil. It's like a bad carnival ride. In other words, it is nice and crisp on the exterior. The egg is really, really light and fluffy. Texture of the interior's Texture of the outside's amazing. It's crispy, light, crunchy, bubbly. It's got little bubbles. And that fry oil just makes it taste so delicious. I can only imagine how good this would be with some fish sauce, some soy sauce, some chili crisp on it, anything. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5 for the eating experience. I've never tried this before, and I intend to try it again, because it is quite good. There you have it, folks. 22 different styles of egg preparation. And amongst them, 7 of these eggs got a score of 8. And I think some of them should have scored higher, but this rating system is both flawed and perfect. I hope you guys learned some interesting ways to make eggs. I certainly did. There was at least 3 or 4 of these that I've never tried before. Let me know what methods we missed, what we should do next time. What are your favorite preparations of eggs, and what do you want to see me rank in future episodes? Thank you so much for watching, and get cracking. We already did that. It was the first thing we did. Keep it runny. Keep it warm and runny.
Sounds like you have IBS.
Thanks again to Allergies for sponsoring this episode. Your mattress is constantly collecting dirt, dust, and household allergens, which could cause you to wake up with a stuffy nose or interrupt a good night's sleep. Washing your sheets is one thing, but your bed isn't clean unless you're using a mattress protector like Allergies. The Platinum Zip-Off Mattress Protector is luxuriously comfortable and easy to wash, which is why I'm excited to have Allergies on all the mattresses at the Bed & Babish. Here's a little peek at how the house is coming together. I'm excited to share more of this as we get closer to the finish line. These mattress protectors are perfect for pet owners, people with kids, rental property owners like me, and anyone wanting a clean, healthy night's sleep. To get your own Allergies Platinum Mattress Protector, head to the link in the description or scan the QR code and enter the code 15BABISH for a 15% discount.